Jewish Education in Media is pleased to present L'Chaim, a program that highlights the people, issues, and events of importance to the Jewish community. Now here is your host, Rabbi Mark Golub.
I'm Mark Golub. Do you enjoy a good book? One that gives you insight into things you may have taken for granted or never thought about at all. Made you laugh, sometimes out loud. Made you think. And sometimes gives you chills. If so, then I recommend to you The Lies They Tell, A Journey Through America. It's written by one of the most brilliant social observers on the Jewish scene today, also one of the loveliest, whom I'm so thrilled to welcome back to this table, Tuvia Tenenbom, the author of books that have become classics of our time, including Israel's #1 bestseller, Catch the Jew, which is just a fabulous book, and I Sleep in Hitler's Room. Let me remind you about who Tuvia Tenenbom is. Tuvia is a Sabra, a native-born Israeli, born in Bnei Brak, outside Tel Aviv. And Tuvia became a journalist who's toured the world and wrote about what he's seen everywhere he goes, and who the people are, and how they do or do not relate to Jews. Tuvia is also a wonderful playwright who came to the States and founded the Jewish Theater of New York, the only English-language Jewish theater in the Big Apple. Tuvia has written more than 16 plays, almost 20 plays, such as Father of Angels, which the New York Times called irresistibly fascinating, which I feel describes virtually all of Tuvia's work. Again, he's laugh-out-loud funny, outrageous at times, almost always irreverent. And now Tuvia has written The Lies They Tell, A Journey Through America, which, as the title explains, chronicles his trip this time throughout our United States, speaking to Americans everywhere. And some of what Tuvia found, perhaps much of what Tuvia found, was not pretty. Tuvia Tenenbom is a throwback journalist, a brilliant journalist who simply tells the story and lets the story tell the truth. It is so wonderful to have you back at this table.
It's so
you
wonderful
were one
to
of my
have you,
favorite
and so
people
thank
in the
you
world.
so
You
much.
and your wife, Izzy, you're
Thank
out
you.
of this world. Thank you for always
so
making.
much. And thank you for all your nice
Oh my
and
God!
warm comments.
Oh my goodness! What a book you've written! Just like, I mean,
Thank
Catch
you.
the Jew will be a classic forever in the Jewish world. And now this book, which is an insight into America, is just fabulous. We've talked about your background before. I've never asked you this way. Talk for one moment about how do you think you came to have, not the writing skill. There are good writers. There are very few people who are able to see what you can see. Where does that come from, do you think?
I don't know, I think, first of all, again, thank you, and ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you with us today on Rabbi Golub's JBS, Jewish Broadcasting Service. And I have the cup, and I can't tell you what's inside. This is a secret between Mark and me. And I think, I mean, for me, I'm lucky enough that I went through many cultures.
Yes.
And many lands.
Yes.
And
you spent a long time in Germany.
I am blessed, yeah. I am blessed that I can visit. Somebody's paying for it, thank God, for all these things.
But that doesn't explain how you,
have
your unique way of seeing.
I think, first of all, my father was a rabbi, Rosh Yeshiva. And he was one of the smartest people I know, and I don't say it because he was my father. He was a brilliant man.
What was his name?
Akiva. Rabbi
Akiva.
And I took the Talmud, I took the book, give me the book. And I would say to him, I put like this, the book to him, I put like the, I take the book, and then I open it, and I say, Papa, I'm putting my finger here,
It's
page
daf.
131. What does it say? The guy would know.
No.
And yeah, and he was not autistic. He was just brilliant. He was like genius. And so he taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about people. To our home, all kinds of people came in. I would never forget it. Sometimes it would be like an old couple would come in, and the man and the woman would scream at each other, you dog, you pig. And it's like, I can't even, how dare you, I wish you are dead. It's like, and then they would sit with my father, and then when they come out, and they're like, Annie, where would you like to go this evening? And I was like,
It's
so
his
I learned
neshama.
something.
He had
This is
a unusual
neshama. He was
neshama.
very extremely bright. He understood, and he taught me also, obviously, the human mind, how it works, and how to look beyond, just the facade, how to look deeper and deeper into the people. And also, I grew up in ultra-Orthodoxy, and I spent my youth there, and I studied a lot, since age 4, I already started to study. And I studied the Talmud, it's like 4 was the Tanakh, the Bible, the Chumash, the Torah, and 5 already I studied the Talmud, so, and it was amazing. And I went to some of the best yeshivas, the best places, and I was surrounded where my street was, where I grew up, were the biggest rabbis of our time. The ones who basically, the poskim, as they say, the
Yes.
ones who made the rules that everybody accepted.
Determined Jewish law.
Exactly. And I knew them. It's like I grew up with them. It's like, it's not my age. I was a baby and they were already, but that's the atmosphere that I was breathing.
Amazing.
And then I came to this country and I studied. From beginning, I had to start because I knew only rabbinical studies, and then I had to study. I spent 15 years in universities, collecting degrees, God knows for what, F degrees. I studied mathematics, computer science, literature, theater, finance, Weisstechnisch, all these things, and I study. And then started opening the Jewish Theater of New York. I founded the Jewish Theater of New York.
In what year?
That was, I think, in
Roughly.
94 or something like that, 95. And theater allows you to be, as a playwright and as a director, to be every day somebody else. One day you are a ganev, you are a thief. The other day you are a priest. The other day you are a rabbi. The other day you are imam. And the next day you are a doctor. And the next day you are a street sweeper. And that's what theater is. And then, I started with journalism, and thank God it worked very, very well.
Yes.
And I'm writing for all kinds of papers. And I've been writing for so many papers, and this allowed me to go and to explore the world. And I have a publishing company, Surkamp, the German publishing company, which is one of the elitist, the most prestigious publishing company of today's Germany. And you're talking about Germany, it's a nation still of the book, if you criticize them or not, whatever you think about Jews, but still it's a book-reading nation for the most part. And they finance my everywhere, and I write in the paper. I want to go to Japan, so I'm going to Tokyo. One day I'm in Tokyo, the other day I'm in Ukraine, the other day I was like in Amman, it's like so. And I can be there, and I can stay there.
You're so
and
lucky.
I learn languages, and you learn people, and the way I do the books and the way I do my things, I try to go to the soul of the person, not to burden the reader or my interviewee with ideas and philosophies. This was in my period. I used to be intellectual. I am a recovering intellectual. You understand what I mean? Used to be intellectual. I thought I knew everything, and everything I wrote was so difficult. You couldn't read it. You had to scratch your head as just to read the first page. It was like, today I'm toiling. I'm bleeding. That when I write something, it should be like flow as smoothly as possible, so you can read it. You can read the whole book or the whole article like this, and that's the heart. And what
But is it hard for you to write?
I love writing. I enjoy writing. It's like for For me, it's like my wife just says, it's like a painter, you know, it's like put this, and connect all the dots. I mean, of course, it's beautiful. I love it. But I toil in making it not brainy, you know, because I don't believe in brainy. Brainy articles are not, nobody likes them except for, you know, very few people who get paid to do this in universities.
Yes.
You know, it's like, what do you want for my life?
You want your work to be very accessible.
You have to be accessible, and you have to tell a story. And you interview a person, you have to know who the person is. You have to get to know him. Of course, I don't know him in the beginning. I don't know who the person is. So I start asking questions, intimate questions, and that's how you know the people. And then
And by the way, you present conversations.
the conversations. Yeah,
It's like we're standing watching you talk to someone.
exactly. That's what it is. It's like, and I combine also the element of theater.
Yes.
You know, so I'm like you know, I'm playing. You know, playing meaning I'm an actor. So I have to cheer up my characters. You know, it's like in order to get from them what is inside them, and that's the idea.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, by the way, how do you self-define yourself on the political spectrum? Do you consider yourself more a liberal or more a conservative?
In generally, I don't describe myself. I describe myself as Tuvia. It's Tuvia.
I understand.
You know,
But you know
which
what
is
I
a
meant.
nice name.
You know
not
what I
because
meant.
it's my name, because in Hebrew it means the goodness of God.
Yes. Do you know, by
Tuvia.
the way, did we do this before? Do you know who in the Midrash Tuvia was?
What?
Do you know in the Midrash who
Moshe.
Moshe Rabbeinu.
Moshe Rabbeinu, yeah,
Yes,
of course.
most people don't understand
Yeah,
that.
yeah, of
Yes.
course.
His name was not
Oh,
Moses until the Pharaoh drew him out of the
Exactly,
water, right?
but-
When he was put in the basket,
Yeah,
his name was Tuvia,
Yeah, that's
not
like-
Moshe.
yeah.
Okay.
So yes, and how do I describe myself? Oh God, I don't believe in being liberal. I don't believe in being conservative. I don't believe in being centrist.
What's left?
What's
Tuvia, what's left?
Realistic, factual. I believe in, you know, it's so easy to be either centrist or even unaffiliated, or to be liberal or to be conservatives, because somebody made the whole spiel for you, and if you believe in this, you have to check here and you have to check here, and you already know what you think. You already know before anything happened. You have made up your mind because it's all checked. You know, it depends who you are. You already know that Trump is the best or Trump is the worst. Clinton is the best or Clinton is the worst. You already know everything. You know, there's no time to check. So nobody's going to surprise you. And what is the interesting thing? One of the things you'll see it in the book, which is very, very interesting. Before I started the journey into America, what did I think about America?
No, just a minute before you go there.
Okay.
Before you go there, I want to set your book up by, it's really after, the book is about 400 pages.
Yeah.
It culminates in there's a conclusion
Yeah.
at the end of the book.
Yeah.
You write, the America I find is not the America I wished to find. It is racist. It is hateful. And its citizens are bound to destroy themselves. That's an incredible indictment on American society. You also write, the melting pot of America has been quite successful in forcing individuals to forsake their ancestors' cultures, but it has given them nothing worthwhile in return.
Yep.
You travel America. You spend months with Americans in both major cities, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, San Francisco. You visit state after state.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, Alaska, Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, you conclude that America is racist and hateful.
Yeah.
Why do you write that? Why do you come to that conclusion?
Okay, this comes before when you asked me what am I.
Yes.
If I were a liberal or if I were a conservative or a centrist, I would know what America is before I make the journey. Before I made the journey. I was like, it's very easy, But if you are not any of them, and you believe that everything you have to find out, it's not easy to make up your mind about anything. If you really want to make up your mind, you have to investigate. You actually have to talk to people. You actually have to talk to them to see who they are. So I live in Manhattan, in a little shtetl, Manhattan, you know, and here in Manhattan we think we know everything because we are the smartest people on the planet. And we know everything, and the state after Manhattan, you know, to the west is, guess what? San Francisco, or California, the state, or the city, San Francisco. It's nuts. There are a lot of things in between. Human beings. And we talk to them. And I went with my wife and also the crew, you know, people on camera, with the video. Meeting people, not through the highways. Avoid highways. Driving and driving, day and night. To meet people and to talk to them, to see who they are. And when you meet the people and you see who they are, it's totally different than what you read in the book. You can't believe it. You go from here, you know, go from New York, go to Philly, try to see the
historic places.
The historic places of America where the spirit, with the people, the Constitution, the whole thing, the whole spirit. And you meet people. And even I went to church, like the Jew boy goes to a church. You know, which church am I going to go to? Quakers, you know, it's William Penn, you know, that's why it's called Pennsylvania. You know, it's the Quakers, right? This guy. And you're going to a service. First of all, it's a very strange service, but let's not talk about that. And then the people start talking to you, and they tell you all kinds of things. For example, they tell you that one thing bothers them. What bothers them? So the Jews in Israel, thousands of miles away. And what do they care about? The poor Palestinians. They know nothing about the Palestinians.
Oh, you say you found that almost everywhere you went.
Yeah, and this is what's amazing. I never thought, you know, it's like in Europe I expected it. In America I didn't expect it. And then they tell me something like, don't go to a place called Germantown, avoid Germantown. And I'm saying, why avoid Germantown? I want to go to Germantown because as far as I know, 50 million Germans, 50 million Americans claim their ancestry Germany. So this is the biggest number of people, the biggest chunk of people, you know, that claims one place, you know, Germany. Not from Ireland, not from England, but from Germany. That's according to the census, American census. So I said, I'm not going to Germany. Of course I'm going to go to Germantown. I'm going to meet my Germans.
And do you
I've just came from Germany.
Yes,
and I go to Germantown, and what do you see there? Not one German. Not only is there not one German, there is not one white, all black.
It's a black ghetto.
It's a black ghetto. And when I go, the first thing the people say, hey, you white man, what are you doing here? And I say, what's your problem? I am walking. It's a free America. It's liberty, freedom.
And are you walking with a camera crew?
Yeah, all the time. You're walking with people.
Okay, so you're not just a guy.
No,
you're obviously a curiosity.
I am never playing candid camera. Everything you see in my book is open. I never trick anybody. I go straight, boom, you know, talk to you. I'm a journalist. Let's talk. And I have just come from Germany, which is true. And I come to Germantown. and the guy says, like, what are you doing here? You're a white man. I say, so what? He said, no white man coming here. They have never seen a white man in their lives, in their neighborhood. And then we start talking. And in the beginning, they play the game, everything is okay, everything. And then they feel more comfortable with the skinny German. And they start
They open up to you.
And
They open up. By the way, I want to quote a line.
Okay, by all means.
I'm going to quote the line. This is an adult show. You're talking to somebody in Germantown who says to you, this place is shit.
Yeah.
And you're basically talking about why, and they say, because they may beat you any time they fucking want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you found.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about racism in America, is this reflective of what you're talking about?
This is part of it. This was the first time I see a black ghetto or a hood. I've seen many more through the journey.
Yes.
And I can tell you that what I have seen, the way people live, it shocked me that this exists in America, that we are in America. I have been to refugee camps in the Middle East. And believe me, they are not nice places.
The refugee camps.
In the Middle East. And many times when I left the refugee camps, I was crying. I couldn't, you know, people without dignity, with no future. And sometimes babies cling to you. You know, it's like, and you leave the refugee camp, you're crying. I was crying. But I'm not exaggerating. Those refugee camps are 5-star hotels in comparison to what you have here in America of our day and time.
You
in
said
the
most
hood.
Americans don't know that.
As you don't know that. You know the hood, but you don't understand what's really in the hood. When journalists already go to the hood, which I investigated after that, usually you see them going with somebody who explained to them the hood. No, you have to go to the hood by yourself. No activist to explain to you. No activist to take you to the safe places. Go. Experience American life. And what you see there is frightening. And you have no idea how many times people, even blacks, try to say, don't go there. I took one time a bus in Chicago. And I know that the District 13, at least at that time, is where Barack Obama's voters, the first time he was voted into public office in Illinois, in the Illinois Senate, as a senator, is the people who voted for him were from District 13 and Chicago. So I am going to see District 13. I take the bus, I park the car I left the car in the parking garage, it's like left my hotel, and I decided I'm going to go to the people like the people. Taking a train, then taking a bus. At the last stop, I'm about to get off. The driver looks at me and says, "Where you going, man?" I said, I'm getting off. This is your last stop. He said, "No, you ain't getting off here. Ain't no good place here. You stay with me on the bus till I make another turn. I take you out of here." Walking a few steps, I said, "No, I'm sorry, I'm going." I'm just starting to walk. Then a van stops by, like off-white van. 2 guys are inside with bulletproof thing, with machine guns. Roll down the window. Say, "Sir, where you going?" "I'm walking the streets of America." They wouldn't let me. Say, "Please, get out of here. This is not a neighborhood, this is a shooting range." It turns out they are police. Unmarked car. And we talk. In the beginning, they try to everything to convince me to get out of there. But by the end of the day, I'm walking there. Even the cops, I'm sorry, I'm a journalist, I'm allowed to do it. God bless you, man.
Were you frightened yourself?
As a journalist, I think that the curiosity in me is bigger than the fear. But if you ask me after that, when I get out, I was like, "Oh God, I can't believe I was there." Mm-hmm. I could have been shot every moment. And the people say it to me. And you see people who have been shot. You talk to them.
Yes, you talk to people who said they've been shot.
Exactly. I mean, it's like unbelievable. And you see them, they're all ants, like one woman, all. It's like, and you see it, and the people talk, and what the people say to you.
Give us an example.
Give you an example, because this I'll never forget, because it was a father and his young boy. It was in Detroit. I was driving on the wheel. I don't know where I'm driving at. I just know I'm America. I have to write a book about America, so I have to drive. I have a red car, beautiful red car. Took it from whatever, Enterprise or whatever it was. I'm driving. And then I see something that looks like that people used to live there for God knows how many years ago. It looks like deserted for a long time. So, okay, let me see it. Because you see like houses, and then you see the grass, shrubs all over. It's like nobody took care of it. You come closer, drive closer, and you see creatures moving. And then you come closer, and you see human beings. You go into some of the houses. I'm sorry, everything is broken there. Somebody even stole the outlets. It's like unbelievable. And people live there. And I see this guy with his kid. And I say, "What is this? Where am I?" He says, "This is the red zone." Is this the name of the place? Red zone? This is the last zone. It's like, what does it mean, the last zone? After here, the grave. And I say, "What are you doing here, people?" He says, "Here, blacks killing blacks." And I say, "Why?" And he says, "Because you are nigger brothers." What logic is this? Excuse me, he's black. And his kid is listening. And then he explains, in the summer, we kill more. I say, "Why?" "Because it's hot outside. That's why you kill. And you have to put yourself in the ad, being that kid standing next to you, listening to his papa talking like this. This is the culture. You know, before that, I would blame the blacks themselves, like many do. Like, you know, take care of yourself, guys. You know, get yourself out of this garbage. You know, move on. There are blacks who succeeded, you can succeed too. But then you see, no, you can't blame them. If I were a baby here, born here, hearing this and listening to this, and people explain to me, you can walk on the street, and if somebody just looked at you, and he thought you looked at him, he just shoots you. Because his interpretation, you didn't look at him with respect. For nothing. There's no police. There's no education. Nobody cares. Not even this Black Lives Matter. Nobody cares. They leave them to themselves to kill each other. Like the black in black, like the Spanish or Latino, whatever you say in nice language, you know, kill each other. And that's what happens, for example, in the church. You know, they take care of the Palestinians, poor Palestinians, thousands of miles away. But they have never crossed into Germantown, next door to them. Maybe before you care about Palestine, you little nice church people, you just cross the street and help your neighbor. They need help. And believe me, the Palestinians are living much, 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 much better than the blacks in the hoods. In America.
Do you blame somebody?
The whole society. We are all racist. We don't care. As long as it's blacks killing blacks, and Latinos killing blacks, and blacks killing Latinos, Spanish, whatever you want to call them, let them kill each other. Nobody's doing anything. You go to the hood and you see nobody cares about them. You know, because when I walk to the hood and I enter the hood, people talk to me. People congregate around me. I'll give you an example. We were in Hawaii. Hawaii is a beautiful country, beautiful state. Tourists go there, spend God knows how much money. Most liberal of liberals. When you go to a hotel, you have to sign that if you are caught smoking in the balcony, that's $425.
Yes.
And you walk on the streets, this is the hotel, and next to the beach, and I'll never forget it. You cannot smoke on the sidewalk you cannot smoke inside the hotel. You cannot smoke on the sidewalk next to the hotel. You cannot smoke on the beach, and you cannot smoke on the sidewalk of the beach. But there are signs where you can smoke. You know, 15 feet here, 25 here. I measured them, and it's exactly in the middle of the road between the two lanes. That's where you can smoke. In Waikiki, in Honolulu. Why? USA. That's exactly the most liberal of liberal, right? Amazing city. Beautiful beaches. Not exactly for me, it's too hot, but let's go for it. People spend their holidays in their weddings, everything. Their fortune there. Restaurants all over. Aloha, everybody. Aloha, shmaloha, baloha. It's like, you know, everybody's like, you know, the governor is Democrat, mayor Democrats. Everything is Democrat. Congressmen, whatever, Congress people, senators, everything is Democrat. Now you walk there, and we see this beautiful Y. And I interview somebody from the Y, and he says to me, do you really want to know what a Y is? I say yes. It's okay, I'll show you. And he does, and we drive. Not far. And he stops. We stop the car. Say, time to get out. And we get out of the car. And what I see in front of me, tents upon tents, as far as the eye can see. And there are people, human beings. It's homeless.
Intense.
Yeah, intense. You know, they made it up. You know, they make it themselves. You know, they put a little nylon and a little plastic here, a little this here, a little that there. You know, it's like homeless people living on the street. You see the old people, and you see children just born in that place. From time to time, if the police, if the government, if the rulers of Hawaii think this is too much, they spread too much, the police comes and they do what they call sweep. Bzzz. Push the people inside. This is in America, founder in time, in a liberal state, in a liberal city, 100% liberal. The people who govern there. Treat people like you treat dead animals. And then you talk to people. And I meet them, and I talk to them. And I ask a guy, tell me, where am I? And he says to me, look around here. What you don't see, no white person here. Yes, no whites. And then we talk more, and I say to him, it was on the last year of Barack Obama in the presidency, just before he left. And I say, what do you think about President Obama? He says, so happy that there is a man like him, non-white, in the White House. And we talk more. And while we talk, I'm a guy who touches people. So I touch him. And as I touch him, he says, he is shaken. He has never been touched by a white man. And he says to me, he looks me in the eye and he says, you came here and you honored me with your presence. You touched me. You want to know why I live. You respected me. And I lied to you. I said, amen. What was like, you lied to me. We hardly know each other. What did you lie to me? He's like, hello. And then he explains. He says, you asked me what I think of the president. And the answer I gave you is wrong, is a lie. I said to him, then what is your answer? May I say it? Says, what I think about Barack Obama. Motherfucking fuck who doesn't care about no fucking people. That motherfucker. That's what people think about Barack Obama. The people who voted for him, the poorest of the poor, know the truth. And we don't talk about it. Because there are no journalists there. And here is a guy, all his life in a camp, never been touched by a white man. What society are we here? And these segregations that I find all across America? Neighborhoods where there are only blacks, no whites there. No, nothing. Churches. And it was frightening to see it. Over and over and over and over again.
Everywhere?
Everywhere. Across America, 28 states plus Washington, D.C., that I covered in this journey. And then you say, in this day of Google, of web 24 hours a day, of news 24 hours a day, and nobody tells you the real life in America, how America's really living. And this is just about the black issue, the black and white. Mm-hmm. And people say to you, oh, I'm so happy to be an American. And I say, why? Because there's so much diversity here. Look, black people walking. My best friends are black. And I say, wow, I would like to interview your best friends, your black friends. And then they run away from you because they ain't got no black friends. And vice versa goes with blacks towards whites. And again, this is just one, the white, then you have the Indians or the Native Americans. Again, unbelievable story over there. Then you have the rest of it, all of it. I mean, America is not what I expected it to be. I really personally wanted to write a book that will be glory of America. How great America is. America has been good to me. I came here with nothing, with $400 to my name. And I made it, whatever I wanted to make it myself. I did not become a president. But everything else I wanted to do, I do. And I wanted to be a glory. But I believe my job is as a journalist, is to tell the truth. This is what I see, this is what I write.
I said from the very beginning, one of your wonderful strengths is you are an old school journalist. You're not writing propaganda. You're not writing a preconceived script. You are willing to tell the truth, whatever the truth you find to be.
You have to.
Now, I want to ask what some of our viewers may be thinking. Didn't Tuvia Tenenbom find anything about America that is of merit and of worth? And is he suggesting that the kind of social problems you experienced, you saw, you documented, are you suggesting these are exclusive to America? And if one were to put America side by side with other cultures that you have some intimate knowledge of, does America fall significantly short when compared with the social ills and injustices which exist throughout the world?
It's a good question. It's a double-sided question, and first of all, let me say the first thing. In America, when you start talking to people, in the beginning, everybody is great. Everybody. I mean, it's like, I have never met a guy or a girl who are not great. But then, once they feel comfortable with you, the dirt comes out. And there is a lot of dirt. And there is something in America that they find out that doesn't exist in other countries. In other countries, they have the loyalty of the tribe. We are a tribe. The Jews are a tribe in Israel. This is like, we are all Jews. The Arabs in Egypt, we are all Egyptian. The Germans, we are German. You know, even if they don't say it, they think it. You know, the French, of course, you know, we are French. I mean, it's like, who knows better than us? Who knows how to make food better than us? You know, it's like everybody else, you know, it's in every country, you know. They think they are the best. It's just culture, it's tribe, it's thousands of years. America doesn't have it. America is a collection. You took all kinds of people and you put it in the same place. It's a big misherai. It's not natural. But they told them, in order so they don't kill each other, you know, it's part of the culture to say, you look so good. You are 18, right? I mean, it's like, you look fantastic. You look fantastic. Oh, God. Oh, I was just thinking about you yesterday. You don't even know your name. Please call me anytime. Would you like to meet? You are invited to my house anytime. I say, okay, tonight. Forget it. But it's a culture. You know, that's part of the culture. And people are under enormous stress. Take Germany. The country is the mama. The state is the mama. They take care of you, your universal care. If you're too poor, you'll get this and you'll get that. They'll help you. There is a mama to help you. There is a mama they don't have it here in America. Even in New York, which is more socialist, you know. So if they help you, they put you some projects which you wouldn't want to be. You know, if you have any brains in you. You know, so it doesn't exist here. You know, so it's you. You have to decide. You are master of your life. Nobody will take care of you because everybody is fighting to get ahead. And there is no papa and mama. And the worst thing, there is no identity of the tribe. Because there is no tribe. Because this guy is from Slovenia, and that guy is from Yemen, and this guy is from Georgia, the real state Georgia, and that guy is Russian, and that guy is Irish. And there is no. It doesn't exist. And when they came to America,
what's the downside of that?
The downside is you don't feel part of the family. The family here is the Constitution. It's we the people. But that's a piece of paper. That's a theory. That's not blood.
Are you saying you did not find Americans from all communities who had some common bond with America and Americans in general?
They say the same things, they answer the same question. You ask American, what is America? Are you proud to be in America? Most of them will say yes.
Yes.
And you ask, what's America? Liberty and freedom.
Yes.
And I say, what does it mean? I can say anything I want. I can hold any political view. I can say it out loud. I have no fear. I don't have to fear. Nobody will tell me. Say, okay, whom did you vote for last election for president? Almost no American will answer that question. Some of them get really pissed off.
Because?
How dare you ask me this question? This is a personal question. This is a personal thing. How dare you ask me this question? This is an intimate. It's like, excuse me, come down, come down. You don't have to answer this question. And I found people, couples, The wife doesn't know what her husband voted for.
And what does that mean to you?
They are so in fear when you talk to them. They are so in fear
Of?
that maybe if you are of the opposite opinion and you start arguing and you'll become hostile to each other because you don't trust the other one. There is no trust here. Americans really don't trust each other. Go to the hotels. I stayed in so many hotels. Even the first floors, it's very interesting. You cannot open the windows. You know, on the first floors, there's no fear of insurance or whatever. They put like screws on the windows. I say, why not? He says, it used to be smoking rooms and now it's not smoking rooms. I say, so what? You can have non-smoking with open windows. No. Then the people will smoke. And you don't know what people here do. In every place, in hotel, it's like, are you nuts? You don't trust your own people. That does not happen in Germany. You can open the windows in the hotels, unless it's an American hotel. I mean, it's like there is total mistrust. Bottom line, there is mistrust. And you can see it. I'll give you an example. I'm going in Washington, D.C., in Georgetown. Beautiful place, right? Great place. And my wife, she says to me, Tuvia, why are you saying all the time you are German? You are a Jew. And you are born in Israel, not in Germany. I say, but I write for a German paper. I said, no, Tuvia, you know, I'm your wife. Say you are a Jew, say you're from Israel. Say, okay. Georgetown, beautiful place. A guy walks by. Start talking to him. Turns out he's a lawyer. Very nice guy. Beautiful man. And we talk, everything is nice. And then he asks me, he says to me, you have an accent, where are you from? I say, well, I'm from Israel. Are you happy, my wife? I saw the truth. I'm from Israel. And the guy comes close to me, to my ears, and he says, it changes from being a polite man, and says, after 2,000 years, you choose to colonize.
Colonize.
Yeah, I said, ooh, wow, this is interesting. I like you. You have a character. Would you mind? I told you I'm a journalist. Would you mind for an interview? So I take off my recorder, which is iPhone, and I start recording. And then he talks so nicely. It's such a pleasure to meet you from Israel. I'm so happy that you came here and visiting our country. It's like, come on, cut the crap. Tell me what you told me before about Jews, Israelis who colonized. I said, I didn't say colonize. I said, excuse me? You said colonize. No, he says, I didn't say colonize. I said coalesce. I said, come on, I have a witness here. You did not say colonize. So we are arguing. It goes nowhere. I said, okay, turn off the iPhone, put it in my pocket. Then he comes, the nice talking guy, comes close to my ears again. What the Nazis did to you, you do to the others. Full of hate. Nice guy, beautiful man, walking his dog in Georgetown, one of the most expensive neighborhoods of this country. Why are you pissed off? Why are you upset? You're Catholic, for God's sake. I'm like, why are you pissed off? It's not your conflict over there. It's thousands of miles away. How can you be like that? And how many times I say that? I didn't know how much anti-Semitism. I didn't think this country is anti-Semitic.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
By the way,
It's becoming more and more, and you can see it. How do I know it's becoming more and more? Because I see it when I go to evangelical churches or evangelical people, which I have been told are Israel-loving, Christian-loving in Israel, you know, Christian United for Israel, all these kind of beautiful organizations. And you see the parents, in many cases, do love Israel, and their children do not. The children already go with free Palestine. And that's something I did not expect. Even in red states, the reddest of the red, the ones who voted for Trump, or whatever, Republican. That's what the children say. North Dakota, Montana, this is for me. I never thought in Montana anybody would even know what Palestine is. I mean, it's like, hello. I didn't think they heard about it. Pro-Palestine. And that was one of the most interesting things.
yes, you write in The Lies They Tell, almost every American I met had strong feelings about Jews and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
Me too.
Everywhere I went, you write.
I was shocked. I was shocked. I had a series of questions that I asked people. It's like some stupid questions I made up. It's like, are you for pro-gun control against gun? Are you pro-life, for pro-choice? This little more gay marriage. And then, do you believe in, the last two questions were from the 5, do you believe in climate change, which is man-made like the Democrats believe, or not? Are you pro-Israel or pro-Palestine? In 95% of the times, it's scientific. Those who believe in climate change were pro-Palestine. Those who believe no climate change, pro-Israel. Now, this makes sense. This is what the box is. I said to you before, you asked me if I'm liberal or, if I'm liberal or Democrat. It's a box. Book, climate change, Palestine. Where is Palestine? They don't know Palestine from there. Nothing. They have no idea of Palestine. For Palestine because they fight with the Jews. And the Jews are bad news.
By the way, you also write,
Yeah.
when you talk about America as a whole, Jews are possessed by a terrifyingly psychotic illness of self-hate.
Correct.
What do you mean?
I wrote that.
Jews hate themselves?
Most Jews in America, outside of the Orthodox world, and it pains me to say it because I don't have a yarmulke on my head, but the Orthodox world are the most normal Jews in this country because most Jews are outside of it. Either they really don't care about nothing, they don't even know they are Jews, this exists, and those who know they are Jews or care about this whole issue of Jewish or dedicate time or money, most of them are unbelievably self-hating. Let me give you an example. I'm in Minneapolis, and it's a temple, and it's about anti-racism. So I park my car and I say, let me see. Let me see the Jews who are, I thought it's probably about anti-Semitism, No, it's about blacks and whites. Okay. Let it be. They are liberal Jews, happen to be, okay? We'll go with the liberal. And then I look, and then I listen, and like any liberal Jews, they make a party or an event, they must have at least one black, you know that. It's like a representative black, they do that. I'm sorry, they do that. Look at every party a Jew in New York does, they always have a black guy or a black girl, it's like, my representative Schwarz. I'm sorry, that's what it is. It's totally racist because it's like you go on the phone, it's like, they must find a black, Schwarz to put there. I'm saying Schwarz because it's derogatory, because what they do is derogatory. It's like, why do I need a black person? But anyway, so you have the black. And now, but this is a different black. She's a lady black. And she says that she is Jewish by choice. She goes to the podium and she talks. She's Jew by choice.
She's converted.
Converted. And now that she's Jewish, she has found out what the Jews are. Racist people.
She says this?
Yeah. Jews are racist. Israel is an apartheid state. And she's like, it's like unbelievable things against Jews and against Israel. And the Jews, all white, everything bad she says about the Jews, they are clapping like idiots. Like, are you nuts? Are you nuts? I was in New York, I'll never forget it. There was this event, Haaretz Q is question, Haaretz Q New Israel Funds. They made an event at the Roosevelt Hotel at the end of 2015, December, and the place was packed with people. But 1,000 Jews, and you could see educated people, well-to-do people. They have no reason to kvetch and complain. And then there is a reporter, Amira As from Haaretz. She tells the Jews, if you even think about moving to Israel, no, you are about to commit a crime, because the state of Israel is a criminal state. And the Jews. Then Samantha Power, the former, until just recently, U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, goes to the stage and she talks about the unbroken and unbreakable relations between Israel and the United States. She represents a message from President Obama at the time he was the president, President Obama. They will fight in the United Nations. You'll fight America will fight against any form of anti-Semitism in the nation, in the United Nations, in the UN. 3 Jews go like.
Really?
And then Ayman Ouda, the Israeli from the joint list, Arab Israeli, goes to the stage. A Knesset member, parliament, Israeli parliament. The apartheid state, for some reason, puts Arabs in the Knesset. I don't ask me how it works, but who cares about facts? And he goes there, and he says that Israel must observe the Nakba, day of catastrophe, 1948, when the Jews came to Palestine and killed thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Palestinians for no reason. 1,000 Jews get up, standing ovation, and they clap for about 5 minutes.
Are you stunned? Are you stunned?
I was stunned. I was looking at this like, I said to a guy, he's from J Street, he's one of the bosses of J Street, and I said to him, it's like, I know him. He's like sitting next to me. He's like, what the heck is this? What is this? He says, I'm happy to be here. I say, why? I said to him, when I look at this, I think, if these are the Jews, if this is the real image of the Jews, I think Hitler was right. We should get rid of the world of these people. Self-hating to the extreme. Ask everybody to kill them. Okay, let's kill you. So you want to be dead? We'll do it. It's like, why are you happy? He said, well, I'm a masochist. And you see this like I've never seen so many ethnicities in America. I've never seen one ethnicity, like the Jews, which is so self-hating. They can't wake up in the morning without saying that Israel is an apartheid state.
And what if they were to say to you, wait a minute, Tuvia, I don't hate myself or my Jewish identity. I just think the state which I have obviously a close connection with, I think it has to be held responsible and it must do the right thing. And if it doesn't do the right thing, I'm going to protest. That doesn't mean I hate myself or my Jewishness.
And they say that Judaism is racism at the same time. They say you cannot make fun of anybody. They make fun of every Orthodox Jew. They say you should appreciate the woman with hijab, the Arabs. And they say that the Hasidic Jews stink the summer they go like this dressed. How can you dress women like this? They look like pigs, like cows. Well, if the Jewish Hasidic woman looks like a cow, the Muslim also looks like a cow with a niqab. No, that's culture. How can you say that? You are Islamophobe. I've never met, it's like, you want to be critical by all means. I've never met somebody, it's like, Palestine is like such a great place of democracy. Show me one Palestinian who lives here or calls himself Palestinian who will talk about Palestine and Palestinian people the way the Jews talk about Israelis. They don't say it about Netanyahu. Okay, you want to criticize Netanyahu, by all means, criticize him. I criticize him. They don't criticize him there. They criticize the state of Israel. They criticize the Israelis. They think the Israelis are aggressive non-humans. That's what they say. This is their mouth says it.
And do you feel...
Show me another country. Israel, I'm sorry. You can criticize anything. But Israel is not wars on Palestine, wars on Russia, wars on whatever, Turkey. How many Turks will wake up in the morning and say, go rush to hire a PR person because you want to be on TV, because you want to say how bad the Turkish people are. Oh, Turkish people, they are inhuman. Hello, you want to criticize Erdogan? By all means. The Turkish people, they don't like Erdogan, they criticize him. So you're not going to say that the Turkish people are so bad people. It's like unheard of. Only the Jews. Are you telling me that only the Jewish state is so bad that its own people have to criticize it so much? It's the worst country in the world that has to be more criticized than any other country.
Okay.
If this is what you say, then please let's get rid of Israel. And let's get rid of the Jews, which is the same thing.
Do you have any sense from all your experiences where this comes from?
It comes from 2,000 years of persecution. You know, that's
Are
what
American Jews frightened of anti-Semitism?
Of course, they are frightened of anti-Semitism.
And
they have a Stockholm
are they somehow frightened that the perception of Israel will redound to their ill?
No, they care about Israel as much as I care about Georgia. They really don't care. But this is like Roy Cohn, if you remember, you know, talking against gays. You know, it's like they are so ashamed to be Jewish. So the scapegoat, like the anti-Semites, is Israel. They are so ashamed to be Jewish. It's not about Israel. It's like, what is Israel? It's like, Israel is not going to affect America. I mean, Israel is a little dot. I mean, it's like a little peeny chichki dot on the map. I mean, it's not like, you know, I mean, it's like, what are we talking about? Israel. You know, you talk about like all the anti-Semites, Israel all day. What is it on the map? Nothing. American Jews know that. They are educated people. But they also do the same thing. The scapegoat is Israel. Why? Because they hate themselves. And they want to cleanse themselves. Like scratch the Jewishness. Scratch the Jew in me. And I'm joining like Roy Cohn. Joining the battle, who was a Jew, against gays. He was gay. You know, it's like the same thing. It's like Uncle Tom to the nth degree. Because the Jews are much more than blacks in their self-hate.
And
no black will dedicate so much, even anti-black, so much of his time and his money.
What percentage of the Jewish community do you think you're describing?
I can tell it's not all. There is nothing all. This is the majority. This is the Jews that I found and I talked to. This is the majority. I'll give you another example. I sit in it's in the book. I sit in Montana.
Yeah.
There is a place, and you know, in America, everything is for the money. You can buy everything. You can buy a doctor degree, and of course, PhD. You can be a physician. You can be a rocket scientist. You will get somebody will pay for the right amount of money. You'll get a degree, right? Now, some people only be cowboys, and they want to be a big thing. You know, it says that they are cowboys. So, well, there is a demand. There is somebody who supplies it. So I found somebody in Montana. You know, you come there for 1 week. You're a cowboy. And then, for the rest of your life, you pay for it, you know. So they take you, you go on a horse, you see a bull, and then you eat some farmer food. So we sit there, it was afternoon. The people only be cowboys for 1 week. And we eat farmers food, whatever. What cowboy is supposed to eat, don't ask me. It's like we eat there. There are 10 people. So we should talk about horses, right? So we talk about horses, about food, and then a guy starts talking about Palestinian rights. It's like he starts kvetching about Palestinian rights, how important it is, and you must watch Palestinian literature and Palestinian TV and Palestinian movies. He supports Palestinians. Like, I'm just like, are you Jewish? He says, yes, I didn't know, from California. No Palestinian is right mind, even if you're stupid enough to spend his money to be a cowboy, is going to spend time on Palestinian causes. You know, not a Palestinian wouldn't do it. It takes a Jew. It can never forget the Palestinian thing.
You know, you're describing something very tragic about American Jewish life.
It is tragic. And I don't do it with hate. I don't say it with hate. I say it with sadness, because I wouldn't like it. I don't like what I see. I don't like this. I mean, but I think if we want to solve a problem, we first of all have to know it exists.
Is there a way to solve this problem, Tuvia?
I think, from my experience, if you don't know you have a disease, you are never going to solve it. If you know you have a disease, you might go to the doctor. If you realize,
okay, but you don't know right now what the doctor should prescribe.
The doctor, if you understand that you have a problem, if we understand that you have a problem, and people talk to you.
Are you talking about the people who you've interviewed and who stand up and cheer the way you describe, or are you talking about that part of the Jewish community which is not in that room you were in?
This and that, you know, it's like I'm meeting people and you'll be surprised. I mean, it's like even the event in New York, which is a New Israel Fund. When I came to the hotel, somebody was standing there, a nice lady, smoking a cigarette. And she says to me, "Hello, Tuvia, Manishma, how are you doing?" And I'm saying, "Hello, do I know each other?" Says, I read your books and I love them. I don't agree with you, but I love them. And then we start talking. I also a smoker. We smoke together. And the fact that she's reading from beginning to end his books and realizing at least that there is another opinion, there is another way to do it, is already a huge step forward. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you have more people like that, more people who do what I'm doing, not just more people reading my books, which I'd be very glad, but let me not be so selfish here, more people who do what I do and show the absurdity of it, you know, it might ring a bell and say, what are we doing? Why are we spending our time glorifying our enemies? I mean, these people are not doomed.
They don't see it that way.
Of course you don't see it that way.
And the question is,
of course,
how does one...
The Germans who are anti-Semites don't see that they are anti-Semites. They read my books, and then there were at least thousands of them. They make it bestseller. I do not make it bestseller. They obviously wake up. I didn't wake up all the Germans. I'm not Jesus. I'm not Muhammad. I'm not Moses. I'm only Tuvia. But through books, through different kind of journalism, through more honest approach, we might start to solve the problem. Because the way it's going now, this Judaism should better not exist. Mm-hmm. And I say to these Jews, you are so much anti-Jewish. Do me a favor. You have changed your name. You're not anymore Moshe Tillemzuger. You're already John Smith. Just leave your John Smith world. Stop digging with Judaism. Find another scapegoat. You know, there are some Jews who will never bring back. But some Jews will wake up. I had a speech one day in New York University, right in New York, and a guy came to me and he said, I want to kill you. You destroyed everything I believed in.
What did he mean?
He read a book and destroyed everything I believed in.
He felt you destroyed his image of America.
Exactly. And I said, okay, and of Jews or whatever, absolute hatred. And you know what? You can help them. It's possible. I'm not a pessimistic guy. I don't believe in pessimism. I believe in optimism. I'm very optimistic.
Tell me something optimistic you feel about American Jewish life.
I think I am optimistic in saying that it is possible to cure it. But if nobody stops it, I'm going to be realistic, not pessimistic and not optimistic. It's over. And it better be over. Mm-hmm. This kind of life that supports financially the enemies of the state of Israel, the one Jewish state in the world, and some of the biggest support comes from organizations like New Israel Fund. I'm sorry. It's better that these Jews all disappear. Don't kill them, God forbid, but become somebody else. Start take care of Afghanistan, you know, some other countries.
Okay. How long have you been in America?
Since 1981.
Okay.
I know this country.
By the way, that's one thing I did say to myself as I'm reading this book. I wanted to know if there was something just a touch ingenuous in the extent to which you seemed surprised by everything you found. Did you really have no sense that some of the problems you encountered as you traveled through this country existed? It was all that much of a surprise to you?
Look, I know American Judaism in New York. We have not been good friends for a long time.
Because?
Because I'm doing Jewish theater, which is a pain on their batuti, and they don't like to be a straight-in-your-face Jewish theater. Never been supported by American Jewish organizations. But we have people who come.
Okay, but who was upset that there's a
Jewish
theater in New York?
But this Jews, only Jews.
Why should a Jew?
Oh, you should be pluralistic. Why should you do Jewish theater?
There's every kind of theater in New
No,
York.
you don't get it. You don't get it. I asked Michael Steiner. He said it even in his speech. He's one of the people who give money to Jewish culture, and the Jewish culture giving in New York, in America in general, in Jewish Foundation who give to Jewish culture, the amount of their giving to Jewish culture is 6.5%. The rest we give it to every other culture. Apollo Theater, Irish Theater. Who do you think supports these things? Irish people, black people? Are you kidding me? The Jews. Rich Jews support all these things. But Jewish Theater of New York? No. We have to raise the money ourselves, and thank God we are doing good. But well, that's what it is. That's the reality. So I know about this kind of New York Judaism. So I didn't even start to interview in New York Judaism.
What didn't you know?
What I didn't know is that the Jews outside of New York saw the same thing. You know, this hatefulness, I never knew. This strong hatefulness was like really a surprise to me.
Okay, and you were also really surprised by the amount of racism in general you experienced.
Yeah, I didn't think. I mean, it's like, you know, I view myself, if you really ask me, more liberals than liberals. You know, and I think that most liberal I know, or just call themselves liberals. To be liberal, real liberal, is very tough. You really have to like all people. I cross so many cultures and I actually like all people. Not because of some idea, just because I happen to know so many of them and I like them. Afghanis I don't know yet, so I don't like them. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know that. I love Arabs. I love Palestinians. I love so many. I love blacks. I like Latinos. I like them. You know, I have friends like this, you know, acquaintances, you know, walk together, meet. But I didn't know that it's like really what it is. You know, I thought they are like me, you know. And then I realized, no. Inside their hearts, they think horrible thing of each other. They really don't trust each other. They really don't care if the other dies, drops dead like this. They don't care. Nothing binds here. It's all fake. It's fake. I mean, you go in the rest, not in New York, but in the rest of America, you go to an airport or wherever on the street and you say, we support our troops. And even in Washington, D.C., it's like, you know, it's like the airport over there. It's like, support our troops. And it's like, if you just came from Mars and dropped here, and all these support our troops advertisements all over and posters, you'd think this country is in the battle, in a war for its survival. It's like everybody cares about our troops. It's like, it's a shigas. It's like you're going in America. It's like, what are you talking about our troops? What are you doing here? It's like, we get in problem only if we invade other countries. I mean, if we don't invade other countries, nobody's fighting us here. What's like, the Cubans came? Who came? Who is killing us? Why do we need troops at all? What, the Canadians are storming into America? What's troops? Support our troops.
It's the troops that are serving abroad.
Why do we need to serve abroad? Why do we need to correct other countries? And there is so much anti-Semitism and racism in this country. Let's fix our own problems before we go abroad, before we invade other countries. That was like shocking to me. And so I realized how much dirt is here, how much non-democracy is here, how much we don't tell the truth, no papers, no media, not the New York Times and not Fox News, I'm sorry. None of them tells you exactly what's happening here. Why are we? So we are a bunch of racists. We are a bunch of racists, and we are gonna teach the world to accept each other. Hello, go to Englewood, Chicago, and help those people.
I understand.
Go to people in Hawaii. Go to people to the red zones of America. Help those people, the poor. You don't care if they kill, and you care if somebody kills in Yemen. Wake up. We are deluding ourselves. All of us delude ourselves. Let's solve the ills of America before we go around and preach the world. Let's be a little less supremacist and think that our culture is the only culture there is. No. There are other cultures over there, and they think that we are subhuman, but they don't come here and bomb us. Let us not bomb them. Hello, you really believe in diversity? Well, there is diversity in the world, diversity of opinions. Not everybody likes the We the People Constitution. Live with it. Live with it. You like it, stay here. You don't like it, move. But don't try to force other countries. Then you'll have no problem with troops, because the troops will not be in danger. The troops will be here.
You don't believe there is something of value of America coming to the aid of the oppressed outside of America?
Who decided who was oppressed?
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Look what we did in Iraq. Some Saudis blew up the Twin Towers, and instead of us going to Saudi Arabia and bombing Saudi Arabia, we go, psh. We moved to Iraq and bomb Iraq out of existence because of the bad guy, Saddam Hussein. Guess what? We killed hundreds of thousands of people. Saddam Hussein did not even dream to kill so many people. Did not even enter his crazy head, even when he was drunk, to kill so many people. We killed them. And how is Iraq looking today? Worse than it's ever been.
Yes, absolutely.
How is the Arab world looking today with the Arab Springs that we financed, that we bombed? How does Libya look, which we bombed with Tomahawk missiles and killed God knows how many? Every missile costs $1.5 million, not pesos. And we dropped them countless Tomahawk missiles. And then we say we didn't touch civilians. Of course not. Then why, if you didn't touch civilians, why do you bomb like millions upon millions of dollars missiles? Did you bomb? People. And what happened in Libya today? We helped. We helped. We have a wonderful relationship with China, at least diplomatically. We have trade. That countries kills its people, uses prisoners, kills them, and sells their organs. Oh, this is good because we make money on China. So China, we are not going to, not to talk about going invade China, we are not even boycotting them. We are having an excellent relationship with them. Everywhere you buy some Chinese things. They use their people, they kill them, and they sell their organs in the free market. That's worse than any Arab country has ever done to its people. And what do we do about China? You see how absurd we are? We do business with China. And we're going to do more business with China. And Apple is manufacturing, my iPhone is manufactured in China. If we are really good, why are we doing business with China?
Okay, I want to understand one last thing here.
But no.
I know.
The state of Israel is bad. Israel is apartheid. Oh, fight Israel, fight the Jews.
Right. I just want to understand. Are you saying in some way the worst people in the world are Americans?
We are the biggest killers on the planet.
So you feel that Americans...
Yeah. I thought they are righteous people.
Germans are lovelier people than Americans.
Well, Germans tried one time to kill everybody. They couldn't make it. They just continue to do Mercedes. They are not invading any country.
I'm being serious.
I'm very, very serious.
I'm not talking about the government now. I'm talking about you met Americans.
Yeah.
There was nothing about Americans that pleased you, that you said, there is a model here. I wish people in general were this way.
Yeah, there is something I like Diet Coke. I mean, this is American product. I mean, if you.
But that's the best I can get out of you.
This is toilet paper.
There is
no country in the world. This is amazing. I've traveled so many countries who can manufacture toilet paper, soft and strong, as Americans.
Right, it bothers the heck out of me. But Tuvia, I am a little surprised.
I'm sorry.
You've had a good time here.
I had a good time.
You've had a good time in America.
I love the cars. I love driving around.
And there's so many people
you
like.
And it's good.
So many people you do like.
No question about it. And
you make it sound like the American people as a people are hateful. Is that what you're trying to convey?
And I think they are not born like this. But what happens
But this is what's become of us?
This has become of us. Because if we are forced, it's the only culture I know, that we are forced in the beginning to be very nice to each other. We are living in a politically correct world that is struggling us and suffocating us. We are living in that world. We are living in a world that if I go on the street and I look at a girl right here, she can take her phone, call 911, and I would be detained.
Oh, in your book, you go after PC.
I go a lot after PC. But that's what, so I explained to you why in America it's so severe. And in America, it's the only place in the world that you have to be nice. When you meet people, you say, such a pleasure to meet you. In other countries, you don't have to do it. Now, if you ask a human being to be nice when they don't want to be nice, to be politically correct to the nth degree, if you force people to say they love each other, don't be surprised if inside them there is a lot of hate. I suggest for America to cure yourself is, first of all, stop the pretensions, being pretentious. If you don't like somebody, say it. You don't have to say, I like you. And you don't say, I love you. And nobody of you, my dear Americans, has to say that I am skinny. So I think it's not because, I don't believe, I'm not a racist, that I believe that one race of people is bad. And America, of course, is not even a race. I believe everything is culture. And if the culture is so demanding, is so frighteningly demanding, that this is what happens to us. We become bad. Because there is no outlet for our anger. There is no outlet for our hate. And in other countries, there is outlet for that.
I've talked about this with Catch the Jew. Your chapters are called Gates. Gate 2 begins, if you're a straight woman, you must call your husband partner, or else gay men will be offended.
Yeah.
This symbolized a theme in your book.
Yeah. This is what a woman told me. I met a woman, she's educated, you know, she met her in a university setting, she goes with her husband, and she calls him partner. And I'm just like, why are you calling him partner? Because gay people call each other partner, and if I don't call my husband partner, the gays will be offended. So I have to call my husband partner. And she says it as this is the most natural thing to do. And I'm looking at this and it's like, lady, you are out of your mind. But this is what culture demands. So if you see yourself as the elite of the culture, and you are very educated and you have PhD, you have to talk this kind of stupid language, and you have to say about your wife or your husband, my partner, because otherwise you'd be offending the gays. It's meshuga. I mean, in Yiddish, there's a word for it.
Okay.
Meshuga.
I understand. You talked about how people who live on the East Coast seaboard have the sense that if they go west at all, in 1 second they're in California.
Yeah.
That they don't understand there is Middle America.
Yeah.
In your travels, do you understand, because you did this, really, the primaries were just beginning as you did this book. Do you understand why Donald Trump won the election in the United States?
Everybody who read the book knows that Donald Trump would be winning, and everybody who reads the book would understand why Donald Trump won. I mean, this is for everybody who reads it, from what I know people say to me, and this critic said it in Germany when the book came out, and critics said it in Israel, the same thing, you know. I mean, this is a template, what I found out. It's a template. You see, we don't know who Trump really is. Only he and his psychiatrist knows. I mean, maybe. We don't know. He changes all the time. But the impressions that he has, that he makes on the people, what? He's bombastic. He's going to break politically correct. He's racist. That's what the impression. Doesn't mean that he is like that. And for that, in most of the American state, most of the people voted for him.
Because
he won fair and square. Because they're racist. And because, you see, you vote for the president. You vote for somebody who is your image, who you want to be like. An American president or Hungarian prime minister, whatever, or wherever, if there is a free election, the leader is the mirror of you. Obama was the mirror of the American first 5 minutes. We're nice, and we like blacks and like whites. And Trump is the deeper mirror of America, the real mirror of America.
Look, Donald
It doesn't
Trump,
mean that Donald Trump is like that.
Donald Trump wins the election.
Yeah.
Because he wins Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Florida.
Yeah.
And he wins in the Rust states because people who voted for Obama twice voted for Donald Trump. If the people who voted for Obama didn't vote for Trump, Trump wouldn't be president.
Wrong. That's how they do it in the liberal media, which is really fake it. Because 62 million people voted for the man. 3 more million people voted for Hillary Clinton, correct. Where are they?
All California.
In California.
All California.
All California. Without California, that's what it is.
That is correct.
So everybody says the same thing. Oh, without these people here, without the 10% here, without the 10% there, Trump would not win. That's correct. But in order that 10% makes a difference, we needed many other millions to vote for Trump.
Absolutely.
So you have about 62 million of America. It's basically down the line, it's FF. And again, it's not for California. It's the same kind of reasoning. Not for California, that 3 more million voted for Hillary than for Trump, for Donald Trump, then of course you do. So by the end of the day, Americans, for the first time, voted for a guy with no experience at all in governing. With a guy who was like the worst things attached to him. grabbing women in their genital organs, it's like bragging about doing this or whatever, maybe corrupt with. I mean, the media went so crazy. Most American media, especially the intellectual media, went so much against him. I mean, he's a traitor. He's with the Russians, with this. Every bad thing you can ever think. And he's a gunner. He's a thief. He's like this. Doesn't pay taxes. Doesn't do this. Every bad thing ever said about him. But the people voted for him. Why? Because they thought, here is a guy who would break politically correct. Here is a guy who is like us. Here is a guy who says what he thinks, which I would like to have that strength.
But wait,
not me, Tuvia, but me, the audience.
About that.
And there is something very refreshing
and
about it.
It's very much your book.
Exactly, and it's very from that perspective, I think this is good for America.
Yes, and
that Trump has won.
I think
Americans
said, we know who he is.
Exactly.
But we want to send a message.
Yeah, and it's more than a message. It's like, this is what, I think it's a cry for help, an American cry for help.
Yes.
Because this is a Trump land, and they know it's a Trump land. And it's American cry for help. Enough is enough.
You are fabulous about fab. No, I'm not. You are fabulous.
Thank you.
Tuvia's written a marvelous book, The Lies They Tell. But who's telling the lies?
Americans.
Americans. The Lies They Tell, a journey that he took through America. It's published by Geffen Books. Geffen also published Catch a Jew.
Exactly.
Lovely people at Geffen, by the way.
Very lovely.
It's a book you will not put down. If you don't like reading books, you don't pick this book up. If you like spending time with a book, and you like, I said it in the beginning, a good read, you will laugh out loud, and there are chilling things in this book. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
Thank
you very much.
You are fabulous. I love you so much.
And you are fabulous too.
Anytime you come by, you must sit in that chair.
Okay, thank you very much.
Fair enough?
And listeners, ladies and gentlemen, remember Rabbi Mar Golub all the time, listening to him and to him only, because he is the best.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
There you have it, Tuvia Tenenbom again here on L'chaim, author of The Lies They Tell, A Journey Through America, published by Geffen Books. Pick it up. It should be a part of every home library. As always, I invite you to be in touch with me with any thoughts or comments you may have to anything you heard Tuvia say on this edition of L'chaim. Please email me, write me, post on my Facebook page. A lot of people are posting. I love it. Or even tweet me. It is not unkosher to tweet. I look forward to hearing from many of you. Until the next time, I'm Mark Golub. L'chaim, my friends, to life.
L'chaim is a presentation of Jewish education in media.
We would be pleased to send a complimentary DVD of this program to anyone who wishes to support JBS, the Jewish Broadcasting Service, with a tax-deductible gift of $36, double chai or more, to the nonprofit organization Jewish Education in Media. Simply visit the JBS homepage and click on the Donate button to make a donation by PayPal or your credit card. And please indicate the program for which you would like a DVD. Or you can send your tax-deductible check made out to GEM, Post Office Box 180, Riverdale Station, Bronx, New York 10471. And again, please remember to indicate which program you would like to receive with our compliments. And we thank you for your kind support.